George R. Martin hid clues so well that he's literally afraid fans have already figured out his secret ending. And you missed references that were staring you right in the face for 8 entire seasons. Here's what blows my mind about Game of Thrones Easter eggs. They weren't just throwaway references for hardcore fans to catch. These were breadcrumbs leading to major plot reveals, homages to literary giants, and inside jokes that connected Westeros to everything from Lord of the Rings to Monty Python to Harry Potter. The showrunners didn't just adapt Martin's books. They created a treasure hunt that rewarded the most eagle-eyed viewers with glimpses of the future. Today, I'm diving deep into the most mind-blowing Game of Thrones Easter eggs that flew completely under the radar. Number 10. Ed Sheeran's gruesome off-screen death. When pop star Ed Sheeran appeared as a Lannister soldier in Season 7, fans absolutely hated it. The backlash was so brutal that Sheeran himself joked that they should have killed him off in the episode. Well, the showrunners listened and delivered something far worse than a simple death. In the Season 8 premiere, when Bronn visits a brothel, the women casually mentioned a ginger named Eddie who came back with his face burned off and no eyelids. This wasn't just fan service. This was the show acknowledging the controversy while delivering the most horrific fate possible for a cameo character. The genius here is how they handled it. Instead of ignoring the criticism or defending their choice, they turned the fan reaction into canon. Ed Sheeran's character didn't just die. He suffered one of the most disturbing fates imaginable, mentioned offhandedly during a sex scene. That's how you turn a PR disaster into dark comedy. Number 9. The opening credits were a weekly spoiler machine. Everyone skipped the opening credits after the first few episodes, and that was a massive mistake. The Game of Thrones opening sequence wasn't just pretty animation. It was a roadmap for each episode that most viewers completely ignored. The locations featured in each opening varied depending on where the characters would be traveling for that specific episode. Miss the opening, miss the preview. But Season 8 took this to another level, showing the actual defenses being built around Winterfell, complete with spiked trenches and dragonglass fortifications. The showrunners were literally showing you the battle preparations in miniature before the episode started. While other shows used their openings as fillers, Game of Thrones made theirs essential viewing that most people treated as a bathroom break. Number 8. Littlefinger's terrifying fortune-telling abilities. Peter Baelish wasn't just a master of manipulation. He was apparently a prophet. In Season 4, while consoling Robin Arryn, Littlefinger delivered what seemed like throwaway dialogue. People die at their dinner tables. They die in their beds. They die squatting over their chamber pots. This wasn't philosophy. This was a hit list. Joffrey died at his dinner table during the Purple Wedding. Shae died in Tyrion's bed, strangled after betraying him. Tywin Lannister died squatting over his chamber pot, shot by Tyrion with a crossbow. The genius here isn't just the prediction. It's that Littlefinger delivers this line while comforting a child, making it sound like generic wisdom. Number 7. The Harry Potter crossover hidden in plain sight. 2 major Harry Potter connections flew under everyone's radar. First, Natalia Tina plays both Wilding Osha in Game of Thrones and Nymphadora Tonks in Harry Potter. The showrunners included a brilliant Easter egg in Season 1. Osha is seen making brooms, with brooms featured prominently in several shots, directly referencing her witch character. But the deeper connection came in Season 7 when Sam asks Archmaster Ebros about accessing the restricted section of the library. Any Harry Potter fan should recognize that phrase from Hogwarts. But here's the kicker. Archmaster Ebros is played by Jim Broadbent, who played Professor Slughorn in the Harry Potter films. In Half-Blood Prince, young Voldemort asks Slughorn about that exact same restricted section. This wasn't a coincidence. This was the showrunners creating a direct parallel between Sam's quest for knowledge and defeating the dead, and Voldemort's research into Horcruxes. Number 6. The Monty Python references that went way too deep. George R. Martin's love for Monty Python wasn't just limited to one throwaway reference. It was embedded throughout the entire series. When Dario faces the Milanese champion in Season 4, the champion hurls insults in Old Giscari that translate directly to the French taunter's lines in Holy Grail. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries. But the references run deeper. The pilot episode of Game of Thrones was filmed at Doune Castle in Scotland, the exact same castle used as Castle Anthrax in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Every time you saw Winterfell in early Season 1, you were looking at the same stones where the Knights of the Round Table faced temptation. Martin even included a reference in the books where someone mentions the Unsullied don't break when someone farts in their general direction, another direct Holy Grail quote. Number 5. The wall had Jon Snow's parents carved in plain sight. The R plus L equals J theory drove fans crazy for years. But the show told you the answer in Season 1, Episode 4, in the most subtle way possible. When Jon and Sam talk at Castle Black about Jon not knowing his mother's identity, look at the wall behind them. Carved into the support beam are the letters R and L, Rhaegar and Lyanna. This wasn't an accident. The showrunners embedded the answer to the series' biggest mystery directly into the background of the scene where Jon discusses his parentage. For 6 seasons, fans theorized and debated while the answer sat there in plain sight. But here's what makes this even better. In Season 3, when Princess Sheeran teaches Davos to read, the first word he learns is Aegon, Jon's true name. The show was dropping clues about Jon's real identity from multiple angles, and most viewers missed them completely. Number 4. The celebrity cameos that became running jokes. Will Champion, Coldplay's drummer, appeared as a percussionist during the Red Wedding, keeping the beat while the Starks were slaughtered. The irony was probably intentional, but the show went deeper with musician cameos. Heavy metal band Mastodon appeared twice, first as wildlings who get murdered in Season 5, then returning as Whites in the Season 7 finale. The showrunners actually brought them back from the dead, maintaining continuity even for background extras. Season 8 gave us Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as one of Euron's sailors who takes an arrow to the eye during Theon's rescue mission. Martin Starr from Silicon Valley also appeared on the same ship. Number 3. The crossover universe hiding in the Iron Throne. The Iron Throne isn't just made of random swords, it's a museum of fantasy weapons connecting Game of Thrones to classic genre films. Gandalf's sword Glamdring from Lord of the Rings is embedded right in the metalwork, along with replicas of Robin Hood's blade and weapons from Kingdom of Heaven. The prop masters didn't grab random medieval weapons. They specifically chose iconic blades from the fantasy epics that inspired Game of Thrones. Every time a character sat on that throne, they were literally surrounded by weapons from Tolkien's Middle-earth and the greatest sword and sorcery films ever made. But there's an even deeper layer. Dragon woodwork throughout King's Landing, especially in Tommen's bedroom and the small council chamber, represents old Targaryen furniture that the Baratheons and Lannisters kept after the coup. The new regime couldn't even be bothered to redecorate properly. Number 2. The Lord of the Rings connection that ran through everything. George R.R. Martin's love for Tolkien goes far beyond having Gandalf's sword in the Iron Throne. Jon Snow's best friends at the Wall are named Sam and Pip, exactly matching Frodo's companions Sam and Pip from Lord of the Rings. But the connections run deeper. The drowned god worshipped by the Ironborn echoes H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos, with prayers that mirror, "That is not dead which can eternal lie." House Greyjoy's Kraken sigil becomes a direct link to Lovecraft's tentacle nightmares. Martin also included a reference to the 1981 film Dragonslayer, when Viserys mentions a dragon called Vermithrax, the exact name of the dragon from that movie. This wasn't just fan service. Martin was openly acknowledging the fantasy tradition he was building upon. Number 1. The showrunners put themselves in the Hall of Faces. Here's the ultimate meta Easter egg that proves the showrunners had a sense of humor about their own creation. In the Hall of Faces, belonging to the Faceless Men in Bravos, co-creators David Benioff and Dan Weiss included their own faces among the countless death masks. But they didn't stop there. Other production team members also made creepy cameos in the Hall of Faces, and the face that Arya actually touches belonged to the mother of Barry Gower, the show's prosthetics supervisor. This transforms the Hall of Faces from a simple plot device into a twisted credit sequence where the show's creators literally put themselves among the faces of death. It's simultaneously narcissistic and self-depreciating, the perfect summary of how Game of Thrones treated its own mythology. The deeper meaning is brilliant. The Faceless Men can become anyone, and in a way, the showrunners became everyone. Kings, queens, heroes, villains, and ultimately, faces on a wall. They created this world so completely that they became part of it, even in death. What's your take? Did you catch any of these Easter eggs during your first watch, or are there other hidden gems I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the details that make great storytelling unforgettable.